Welcome back to the Cap Builder Talk radio show with your host, Mark Parham. Real talk with real people, talking about real issues facing small business and our community today.
Hey, this is Mark Parham, and I'm coming back. I'm going to start this conversation off this evening about marketing. But as usual, I want to set the stage. What is a marketing strategy? Consumers do not buy what you sell. They buy what has value to them. So we're exposed to hundreds, if not thousands, of marketing messages every day. Why should we be receptive to all of them? That would be mental chaos. So in response, we tune out all of the most relevant ones. Our brain is actually very good at tuning out stuff that it does not want or need. We do this automatically. Marketing strategy is sorting out who your audience actually is and then finding out what has meaning for them. The real thing is your strategy allows you to answer the crucial question your offer must address is why should I care? And we're going to discuss that this evening with my guest, Miss Isha Edwards from Epic Measures.
Hi.
Isha, hey, how you doing?
I'm excited.
All right. Well, you can go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll get our conversation started.
To address the audience on this evening, I'm coming from a business management background, highlighted by a business education background, and amplified by a marketing communications management experience. So can talk from all three of those angles and kind of put it all together and see where we go from there. This is Isha Edwards with Epic Measures.
Epic Measures. Well, the first question that I have for you is, and you hear this, everybody thinks they know what the answer is, but what is marketing? Everybody thinks marketing, sales, branding, all these terms are flying around out there now. So how do you define, when people come to you and they say, I need to sell some stuff? How do you define marketing?
So this is where I pull out my business education hat.
All right.
From an academic standpoint, marketing is a series of activities that are implemented to exchange value in the marketplace. So it's not sales, it's not inbound marketing or digital marketing. It is a series of activities. Those things that I just mentioned are simply promotional tactics.
Mm-hmm.
So what I tell not only my instructional audience but my clients is that you haven't effectively marketed until you've made an exchange. So those of you who, small, medium, and large businesses, have run out and bought business cards, you have your website, you have your marketing assets, materials, et cetera, and you're out there trying to sell a product and you don't actually make an exchange, you haven't effectively marketed. You haven't officially or effectively marketed your product.
So define exchange.
So this goes back in the day when we had nothing to do with ourselves, but go to the marketplace or literally barter in exchange for each other. When money wasn't the medium of exchange, we went next door and changed over flour for sugar or meat for potatoes kind of thing. So that means that the meat was important to me because I didn't have livestock possibly, but my neighbor had vegetables. I had vegetables to exchange or to give to my neighbor in exchange for livestock or meat for my household. And then fast forward to whenever Congress and other countries decided to create money as the value for those things, our system is based on gold being valuable. And so instead of passing out gold in exchange for meat and potatoes, we now use currency to do that. And so if you have something or a service to provide and someone wants to give you dollar cents, $50, $100, $1,000 in exchange for that product or service, then you have then and only then in my book have you officially marketed to someone. Otherwise, you seem to have been promoting to your audience.
Okay. So it's not just everybody's getting out there passing their business cards out and stuff like that. That's just promoting. The exchange happens when you provide whatever your product or service is, and they exchange whatever they value for your product or service, basically.
Absolutely. And that's why people don't you give them a price and they look at you sideways like, I'm not paying for that. because it's not valuable to them.
Okay.
They feel like, okay, I don't want to pay that much for it, and so they go to Walmart or somewhere else, and to find what they feel is a comfortable value proposition for them to give up their cash in their pocket for that thing.
So it's really our job to really create value with our products. We have to create the value in their mind.
And I heard,
yeah,
and not just in our mind, but just in the marketplace. You mentioned the noise in the marketplace and the clutter as well. There's so many products, and a lot of them are saying they're like what they call derivative works. Same thing is just one or two things that are different, and then it's like, well, I can't use both of those products, and now I have to go down and put them side by side. A good example of that is some of these email tools, these email marketing tools. They all kind of generally do the same thing, but certain ones offer more than the others. And then that backs into, well, who's my audience, and how do I reach them, and how do I communicate with them? Then you have to determine out of those 5 or 6 different email marketing tools, which one are you going to be able to use to better service your customers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been using Constant Contact for many, many, many years. But I understand there's a lot of new ones out there, but I've just been there. So, hey, that's where all my data is. So, I tell you, the thing is that, so this calls into your unique selling proposition. So you have to really understand your product in order to really sell somebody on it.
Absolutely.
So is that something you help people do? Do you help them figure out what's unique about themselves, or they have to come to you with that knowledge?
No, that's part of the branding process. So I do brand-driven marketing consulting for that reason, and that's one of the reasons. That's how I'm different. One of the ways I'm different. The other thing I look at is narrowing your niche, finding your target for that particular thing. So there's this concept that you'll find somebody to buy anything, which is true. Like, that's why people go to the dollar store.
Right.
Just especially around, the different holidays. It's like, and you have a whole bunch of kids, you just run through there and just snatch up stuff. But then when it comes to actually taking money and what I call investing, whether it's season tickets to a particular sports franchise or, an excursion, a trip to either by way of cruise or flying out somewhere, all-inclusive type trip, then people are really thinking about, okay, this is an investment. This is something I really want a great value and experience for. So I look at a product from beginning to end, from the time the person obtains the product till they use it to the time when they need it again. I want to look at the value of that product and then value of it relative to the marketplace. Who else is doing this, and how are you different? And then what type of person will not only want this product but need this product but come back and ask for this product repeatedly?
Yeah, I hear so many people feel that they can just sell to everybody, but not everybody wants what they're selling, so they got to figure that out.
It's not even possible.
Not even possible.
Not even possible. Too many people on the planet Earth.
Right.
For you to sell to everybody.
So you said your uniqueness is you help them develop their brand. So let's talk about that for a minute. This whole brand thing. You hear it. Everybody's a brand expert now. So what do you do when somebody comes to you to help them develop what their brand is?
So I build a case. CASE is an acronym for credibility, awareness, sales, and engagement. Okay. So 2 things. Part of the reason why I started off the conversation the way I did is because I don't just market. I'm not a traditional marketer. I'm not a PR person. I'm not your content strategist, although I was doing inbound marketing before inbound marketing was called inbound marketing back in 2005. Before the book came out, when I do marketing consulting, I hinge on business principles, the 7 facets of business. So we're not just out there creating a strategy and yanking down tactics from the sky and trying to implement that, particularly social media strategies and all these digital online strategies. I'm looking at your business model first and making sure that your finance, accounting, marketing, management, legal, information system, and the economy matches and aligns with your business first. And then we can build the case. We can build a case first, your credibility, awareness, sales, and engagement, before we launch a marketing strategy. And that way you can back your marketing strategy into a business objective and not just, hey, they told me I need business cards. Hey, they told me I need to be online. Hey, they told me to be on Facebook. and none of your clients are on Facebook. Matter of fact, they're not even on social media.
Right. I guess the worst thing that can happen too is that you go out and you do this marketing, and then I like the fact that you help build a structure first so they can even handle the returns from the marketing. Because I've seen a lot of companies put a marketing campaign together, the business comes at them, but they don't have the processes or systems in place to even handle business. Then they start doing sub-quality work. That gets out on the internet, and boom, they're out, So I never thought about the fact that. So you go in and do a study of the business.
Right.
Wow.
So they do they get a online profile that they create, what I call a business profiler, which is sort of like a mini business plan. And then I'm able to tap into every aspect of the business just to at least make sure that those things are in place, those systems are in place, and how effective they are, and make recommendations around that first. And then also it helps me to understand what kind of resources and capacity that they have for the type of marketing plan they want, because the other part of it is people feel that marketing is expensive, and it doesn't have to be. Traditionally you do 10 to 20% of your sales budget goes to the marketing department. But in my case, I look at, well, who are you trying to reach, and is there an inexpensive way to reach that target audience within the budget that you currently have? And then it helps to know what your business strategy is. And that's why, I'm not an advocate of writing a 20-page business plan, because that really is for the bank and investors and such. But I am an advocate of writing your vision down and making it plain, because then professionals like me, a CPA, a lawyer, attorney, et cetera, can come alongside and bring your vision to fruition. So it's essential for me as a traditional business management person to understand what your business model is first before I skip ahead, and then I will educate in the middle. So that's my third strength. And then before I slide left or right over to marketing communications and actually actively creating a strategy and or implementing parts of your strategy.
I have to tell you that, I've talked to a number of PR people, a number of marketing people. Everybody says they can blow me up. I can blow you up. But you know what? The fact is, I'm a business person myself, but they never ask the question about my business. And I think it's so important that your unique selling proposition is the fact that you have a great business acumen that you can bring to make sure that the business can support the marketing efforts that you're going to put in place. They can be sustainable. And I just think that's, wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, then here's the other thing about blowing people up. Like, you can go out there, what it comes down to, and I probably shouldn't be telling PR secret sauce, but PR people have a database of potential clients. And so if you go to the right one, they can blow you up, because they say, oh, well, I have a database of 5,000 people in this space, or 10,000 people in that space, or particularly, and this is especially popular for film and music. A film is coming out, they do a screening, they send out an email blast, all these people rush to the theaters, they show up, and then they get them to tweet and, give your feedback and basically create buzz. Anybody can, well, let me not say anybody can do this, but that's not rocket science. Different from, I sell chemical engineering. One of my clients, chemical engineering, the other one is in construction. That's not a PR. PR is a tactic, by the way, a marketing tactic. So those are two communities that do well with PR being blown up. Understood. They don't need a red carpet experience. So how do you get them to increase awareness, sales, and engagement? It's not the same process. So you have to be mindful when you reach out to marketers in 2016 that the average marketer is a tactic-oriented individual. They are experts in the tactics and the tools that they use, but they're not necessarily strategists. And that backs into, do you have a background in business?
Yeah, well, and it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. I never really heard it like that. It makes perfect sense, though.
Right. Here's a good example. Here recently with this construction group, the new clientele that I have, they've invested thousands of dollars getting marketing consulting from SEO people, from Google Analytics people, from website people who can say, I can draw traffic to your website. And guess what? They drew traffic to their website, but was it the right traffic to their website? And so that created a rift with them and me, and that it's like, I hear what you're saying, it sounds really great, but the problem is we've already spent all this money on all these tactics, and they didn't work. And then when I queried about, well, what's your strategy? It's like, well, I don't know. Well, we relied on the SEO person to draw business to us, and then we're listed on this database, and we get leads that way. And you're like, but what's your strategy? And so now I'm having to back in and educate them first, and then say, okay, let me see your business structure first, and then we can back into a strategy. And I work on a strategy for you so you can demonstrate some success with that. And then you can either implement aspects of your strategy internally or have me do the parts of the strategy that you want to, or retain me to do it on an ongoing basis. And that's what clients end up doing now. They get okay, I know what my strategy is, and these are the things we want you to do. Or in this case, there might be tactics where we do work with an SEO person, but because they're not strategic in their process, and I end up overseeing or project managing the web people, the PR people, the digital people, et cetera. And so that's how you can determine or differentiate between a marketer, in quotes, and a brand-driven marketing strategy.
Right. So you use a term in your workshop called marketing economics. What did you mean by that?
Mm-hmm. I believe, this is my honest and accurate opinion, that marketers are not just like ancillary people. When companies downsize, they get rid of the marketing people. When small businesses launch, they don't want a marketing person because they don't think they can afford it, and they don't need marketing. But the truth is that marketing is in every business. It's at every function of the business, from the beginning of the business, in the product space, product price, and long before you get to promotions. I believe in marketing so much that I believe that governments should market, not like branding, but as far as, for example, the United States is concerned, I see the United States as a business. And in terms of competing with 96 other countries, I don't know that I understand why we're competing with 196 countries. Like, case in point, you go to the Olympics and you bring like 500 athletes to the game, and then one country brings 2 people, you know, because by region, location, and size alone, we have a distinct, unique selling proposition. We are a brand. We are a force to be reckoned with, and we don't have to compete head-to-head with, you know, different countries on things that we just do well at. And I think if we got our brand together, our story, our vision through marketing, same thing with cities and governments and communities. There are so many communities and cities that are blighted around this nation for simple things, just simple things. We've seen it in the news. So much of that is a marketing issue coupled with a leadership issue. The marketing people sit down and talk with the leadership people, and we talk about ethical leadership, integrity. We talk about mission, vision, purpose. We talk about goals. And then we talk about what is the messaging. How do we implement what is it that we're projecting? And so whatever you're projecting out, whether it's to the community, and we're talking about police, for example, it should be in alignment with your vision and mission statement of that department. So there shouldn't be a conflict between what we're seeing in the news and what's going on in terms of everyday practice, right? And then what happens on the back end, you have a PR crisis, and some PR person comes in and tries to clean up the mess. And that's not the way it's supposed to work. We're supposed to be able to have a definitive story, a defined product, even if it's a price could be free. In this case, it's taxpayer dollars. It's still money that we have to account for. How do we place these officers and individuals, elected and appointed officials that are supposed to be representing us, even at the senior-most level of this country, and that story being told and defined to the world? You know, I feel that all of that is marketing, and it impacts whether people buy or sell or want to make an exchange in the marketplace for our goods as Americans, or whether they treat us with respect when we go overseas. And it's like, oh, that's just an American. Why? Because our brand has been tainted for all the other products and services that we put out there, whether it's entertainment, whether it's politics, whether it's education, et cetera. So if we reel it in, reel it in. We're not, it's 7 continents, 196 countries, and probably about 100 of them we don't really need to deal with because they're so small. Considering the Caribbean especially, then you look at all the little countries going down South America and out in the Pacific Ocean, there's a whole bunch of countries that we are not competing head-to-head with, relatively speaking. And so we should pull it back in, and that's kind of like the one thing I feel like is right as far as politics is concerned, is for us to focus on America just for a little bit and figure out who we are. We don't even know what we're aligned with. Some people are saluting the flag, some people are president, some people don't.
Right.
All those things are marketing issues. Those are branding issues.
Right.
And people are not willing to make an exchange for a certain party because of the story or the product that's out there that's not quality or questionable or not reliable or lack ethics. So marketing is more than just,
it sounds like it is. It sounds
it's
like
an exchange of value.
Yeah. So how does we're coming down to the end here, but how does the small business, the home-based business, cut through all the noise? I guess maybe you can give some tips or some steps to move forward. What can they do to start moving their information forward or start giving themselves a better look?
Hopefully some of you all have customers already, in which case you can survey your current customers and find out what they like about your product, service, your delivery, etc., and then use some of those terms that they've used and incorporate that in your mission, your story, etc., and then put that in your marketing material.
Okay.
One, that will help with SEO. Two, because people call your product what they want to call it, not what you say it is. You also need to simplify your story and make it easy to remember. So getting these fancy names and wanting to name it after stuff that's cool and, you can't even get the website address for it. I have one client that has their company X LLC, which was like not necessary. And it's like, well, who's going to remember to put the LLC in the search engine for that? So just little things like that. Just make it simple and customer friendly. Put that in your marketing material and make your vision, your brand identity simple and memorable and clean. I would strongly suggest working with an attorney, a trademark attorney on your brand and getting that solidified, especially if you believe that you're actually really going to stay in business and this is something you're going to use to sustain yourself. And then begin to test your concept. Put it out there either by way of social media because the price points are very low. You can test marketing campaigns, digital pieces, ads, that kind of thing for low budget. I would even recommend using Google AdWords. Pay $100 in ads just to see what people buy on.
See what happens,
SEO, right? Numbers from that. But then use that strategically to actively create the real ads that you're going to spend money on to either distribute by mail or email or online. So basically testing is very important when it comes to small business, and you can do that inexpensively with a lot of the tools that they have out there, including Constant Contact and MailChimp, et cetera.
And so I got all those. So let's tell me now, how can people catch up to you if they want you to help them?
You want me to help them?
Yeah.
You want me to help you save the world?
Yeah, save the world. How do they catch up to you?
Yeah, you can email service@epicmeasures.com. That's service@epicmeasures.com. Call the office at 404-374-4482, 404-374-4482. Visit the website to find out more about how we differentiate and make a case for you at epicmeasures.com.
All right, Miss Edwards, I want to thank you for coming out this evening. I need to have you back, man. I need to give you, like I'm giving the credit counselor his own segment. I might need to give you your own segment. You may be too busy, right, though. We got to get to you months in advance. But
if you catch me, you might catch me right after the election, and I'm like, okay, y'all can hire me now.
All right. All right.
I would appreciate the opportunity to chat.
All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Talk
Have a good night.
Later. All right.
Bye-bye.